welcome to another episode of Stir the Pop Podcast. This is your host, DJ, aka 509 Reasons. And I got the homie back for another episode, my homie Ric. Go ahead, you already know what the intro is. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, man. Always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back. It's your boy Ric, representing the Mr. Eccentric Podcast, man. Looking forward to this conversation, man.
Yes, sir, man. We're back. It's been a minute with the podcast game. You know, life is lifing, but
Facts.
but we making it happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you finally got your podcast going since we last spoke. You know, you was about to start it up. Now you actually got it going.
Yeah, we up and running, man. I'm about 3 episodes in right now, if I'm not mistaken. So I
Hey,
got 3 episodes already available. I got the fourth episode on deck. Probably gonna be dropping in the next week or so. So we'll have that out pretty soon, man. But we're moving along, bro. It feels good.
see, not a rookie no more. Now you a vet.
Yeah. Now we just got to get you on the other side. So
Hey,
next time we link up, it's gonna have to be on my side.
I'm with it. I'm with it. You already got
Yeah,
just gotta let me know we on that. You know what I'm saying?
facts. Yeah.
Shoot, man. We're gonna get busy. We're gonna get straight to the point. Um, the hot topic, unfortunately, of the young week. The rap community loses another one. Um, one member of the Migos, Takeoff, he was murdered in Houston. Um, right now, it's still a speculation about what happened. It's
Mhm.
still fresh and early. We don't know exactly what happened. They're saying some people are saying it's a dice game. Some people are saying that he might have got hit with a ricochet bullet, like it wasn't meant for him. Don't
Yeah.
know. But at the end of the day, we all know that a gun was shot and the gun was intended to harm people. Um, and this is nothing new.
Yeah. Same story, man. Same old story.
Same old story. This is not the first rapper to die from unnatural causes
Yeah.
this year. Um, who we got in the past year? So we got Takeoff. We have
Mm-hmm.
PNB Rock.
PMB. Yeah.
Um, I know Young Dolph last year. The fact that I'm naming these names like this is just too much.
Yeah. And I think the thing that continues to annoy the shit out of me is like the circumstances, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you out hanging out in the hood buying cookies, or at Roscoe's having lunch, hanging out at the bowling alley. Yeah, we go back, you know, even further if it's just hanging out at your own store, like it's crazy, man. Like the type of shit that's happening, man. It's ridiculous, man. The cycle is just insane, man.
It makes no sense. I agree. Um, I can't. What really affected me about this is just how fast it took off the news, in the sense of
Hmm.
yesterday. Woke up, checked my Instagram, get a DM by my cousin. You know, my cousin. We send DMs back and forth, little funny memes and stuff like that. And then I
Yeah.
seen Takeoff was killed, and they're just like, what? So I get to my Googles, because I don't really, at this point, I can't just trust everything that's on Instagram.
Yeah.
People be
Yeah.
talking and things about move too fast, and then next thing you find out that's not true. Um, and then seeing the news reports, he was actually killed. And then that from there, I was just like, I'm gonna have to log off the internet for a day,
Yeah.
because this
Yeah.
is gonna affect me. Not just for the fact that it was Takeoff, but even earlier, I like to watch. I like to like read news reports or whatever. There was, I guess it was Halloween night, and there was people who got third three 13 people were injured from a shootout in Chicago,
Hmm.
and you already know where it is.
Yeah.
Shootout in the hood. So at this point, it's just affecting me. Like, damn, we keep talking about Black Lives Matter. We keep talking about how white folks are putting us down or not giving us the opportunity, and it's just like, damn, we keep killing each other off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just like really hurting me, just to keep seeing these things happen over and over again.
Yeah. I think the thing that makes it worse, right, is like, and no, not to say anybody's life is more important than someone else's, right? But
Mm,
we have we continue to see this happen in our own neighborhoods, in our own communities, right? But you got to take a step back sometimes and take a look at, when it's some of these high profile entertainers and whatnot, it hurts even more, because then you look and you be like, this is somebody who is out here, representing the community, right? This is somebody who's out here on a platform. I don't want to say on a pedestal, but
mhm,
who's who's lifted themselves up to a certain stature, to a certain level of notoriety within their own craft, within their own artistry, who is being a representative of our community. And even that's not enough for them to be off limits, for them to
mhm.
be, like for them to not be a casualty of this nonstop nonsense, and it sucks, man. That part hurts me the most.
Yeah, young black artists, finally rich and famous, getting to enjoy the spoils of all their hard work, only for this to just like happen to them. It's terrible.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially right now, you know that Migos was going through a situation where the full group of three were split up, and
yeah.
it was just Quavo and Takeoff.
Yeah. Yeah,
um
and they just dropped the album. They dropped a
Fire,
music video on Monday,
fire.
and you mentioned the dissension within the group, it's like I could only imagine,
Mm,
it's like it's two part, right? Because you have Quavo who was there with him, who had to witness this whole thing.
mm-hmm,
How does he move on with that image, with that memory? Um,
mm,
there's a lot of speculation as far as what happened. I know one of the stories I heard is that the the beef or whatever started with Quavo apparently, and Takeoff wasn't necessarily even like the person involved in the issue. I mean, who knows? Obviously, it's all
who
speculation.
knows?
So, but either way, we know he was there. We know he was there with him. So imagine, you know what I mean? He's got to move on and live the rest of his life with that. You take it to the other side, and then you got Offset where they had the issue, they had whatever beef they had that caused them to split, you know, and now this is family that you were able to do something historic and legendary with, and y'all had y'all little beef and y'all had y'all little issue, and now he's gone, and what I'm saying, there isn't even an opportunity to rectify that,
Mm,
moving forward. It's a terrible situation all around,
mm. And we talking about literally family,
hmm
literally family. You know what I'm saying? So it's terrible.
like I've been thinking all day, just knowing that we're gonna have this conversation,
Hmm.
just trying to figure out how to even have the conversation, right? Because at this point, what can we say anymore? It's like, you mentioned Black Lives Matter earlier, and you know, I'm at the point, where for me it's like fuck all that, like it doesn't even mean anything anymore at this point, right? Because if you look at the organization itself, we know the organization itself is crooked, right? God bless the movement. The movement is great, but the movement is overshadowed by the organization. Okay. So even if you take the organization out of it and you just focus on the movement, at what point is it more than just a hashtag? At what point is it more than just a t-shirt, like and a logo? Because that's all it's all it really is, and it's like, as long as the movement has been around, you continue to see nonstop examples where our own community is spitting on the whole point of the movement, so
Mm,
how much longer can we scream Black Lives Matter while Black lives continue to take Black lives?
right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it seems like that a lot of people are past the Black Lives Matter organization, because everybody's starting to see that is just a whole different agenda behind it.
Hmm.
In addition to the alphabet community part of it, the scamming part about it.
Hmm. Yep.
So I guess a lot of people are starting to see the true colors of the Black Lives Matter organization, but the Black Lives movement itself. There are some good community leaders out there who are
Yep.
still taking on the good fight. And I guess really the whole problem behind that is that there's just not enough of us who believe in the movement. Like it takes more than just tapping on the keyboard or hashtagging Black Lives Matter for it to actually mean something. Like
Yeah.
it involves, taking action in communities. And even if you don't have time to, get yourself involved in the communities, you need to get involved at home with your
Yes.
family members. You got your little nephews, nieces, and things like that. I was talking with the homie yesterday. Like, he doesn't know how to like the kids have the phones all day. I don't have kids, but kids have phones all day long. There's only
All
so
day.
much you could do in a sense because now outside is inside your home. The kids are on these phones.
Yeah.
Once the kid leave your house, the kid is at school, and then there's a whole nother influence when they get to school. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's a matter of just having a good influence on at least on what you could try to control, which is whether it be your kids, your niece, your nephews, your cousins, and things of that sort. And just try to be good, try to be a good influence. It's not easy, but this Black Lives Matter movement that involves action. It's not just this
Yeah.
hashtag. I really hate this Instagram shit for real. I ain't gonna lie. Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, all this.
Social
If
media
this
in
shit,
general, man.
social media, if this shit like
Yeah.
crashed tomorrow, I think I'd be great. I'd be so
Yeah.
happy. But
It's a gift and a curse, you
get them
know.
first.
It's probably it's the greatest gift and curse of our, of our lifetime, of our generation, whatever, because I'm not gonna say there's not good in it. Of course there's good in it, right? I remember, I'm old enough to remember having to write letters to my family overseas and waiting for
Yeah.
a letter back. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And God forbid I even try to call them. Like, call them, you crazy? That message is still gonna
Yeah.
be wild.
Mhm.
So the access that it gives us is great, but the access that it gives us is also a detriment. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of you know, people in general manage their lives very awkwardly as it pertains to social media. And I mean, you see, I saw you posted a clip with Gilly, talking about how, you know, this man is shot dead, and first thing we see all over the place. Now, you mentioned as far as go jumping on Google to kind of get confirmation. I jumped to Twitter. Twitter for me is kind of like, the easiest, fastest news source. So I jumped on Twitter, and
Mhm.
of course, the first thing I seen was the video. And it's like,
Oh
damn,
wow.
it's like, unsolicited, just boom right
Mm,
there. And
mm,
it's
mm,
like,
mm, 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 mm.
wow, like this man is, literally, like Gilly said, man, this man is literally bleeding out on the floor, and it's filming. That's the first instinct. That's everybody's first instinct. Let me film this and post this, because I'm gonna go viral and I'm gonna get more followers. And too many people are living their life through that shit. And it's really, really just completely collapsing our entire infrastructure. But
Hell
you hit
yeah.
the nail on the head with it starting at home, because at this point, for me,
Mhm.
the Black Lives Matter movement, for me,
Mhm.
is me trying to raise a black son and a black daughter,
Mm.
and help influence a black nephew, a second black nephew on the way. And it's like, I'm gonna do what I can at home. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that every time my kids walk out the door, they've got the best intentions for themselves and for their community. Outside of that, I don't know what else can be done at this point. But at the same time,
Mhm.
if everybody did their part to do just that, that would start that would start helping. That would start the process. But
That's the
far
thing.
too many people are just letting social media and the internet raise and influence their kids. And what they see is what they're gonna do. And unfortunately, when it comes to our community, what they see is, guns, drugs, sex, violence.
And that's a problem. Like this is what we came to stir in the pot for, guys. Not the whole bullshit. Like
Yeah,
I feel like the majority of us are just too easily influenced. No bullshit.
facts,
There's nothing,
facts.
there's no getting around it. There's a lot of us that are very strong that can make our own decisions, and then the rest of us is just like
Hmm.
we got to put on for the Joneses. We got to show people we doing this and doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see people doing this with the phone, and then when they put the phone down,
Yo, listen, it nail on the head right there, bro. Like, I wish people would understand how fake
mm,
reality is for for so many of these people. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned, we're easily being influenced. How ironic that the term for that is an influencer, right? Any
come on
random
now,
Joe Schmo, any random Joe Schmo off the streets, depending on what kind of following they have,
come
depending
on
on how
now,
many followers they got, all of a sudden is an influencer.
come on.
You know,
You
so these
saying our
corporations,
keywords?
these these corporations are putting batteries in the back of any and everybody just to push whatever agenda that they want. And I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm all high and mighty and I don't participate in social media and find myself going down the rabbit holes and scrolling through and clicking and likes and all of that. Obviously, we both have podcasts that we're promoting and pushing as well. So we're looking to build followings and whatnot. So I don't want people to sit here and be like, oh, how you gonna talk this and that. But you know what? There's
Mm-hmm.
levels. There's levels and there's different extremities. And I think we're getting closer and closer to a society where it's really all about looking for what to do next. Like far too many people are literally living their lives almost step by step based on what influencer XYZ is saying and doing.
Mm-hmm.
And and at that point, like, what are we doing here? Especially again, like I said, most of the time that influencer turns off the camera and they a whole nother fucking person.
Motherfucking person.
You know what I'm saying?
You hit it right on the head. It's like, yo, you come on to social media, you got the influencers, the people
Hmm.
that influence the followers. All I gotta do is shape your agenda. You know what I'm saying? Shape how you want to move, shape give you a little piece of the things that you already like, and then keep you coming in for more,
That's
for
it.
more, and for more. And that way
That's
you can
it.
only move in this realm of your reality, where which is why politics and all types of other stuff is so polarized right now. Everything that you like, you don't have to worry about anything else, because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm feeding you that all that good shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And it's ugly right now. It's
I
super,
had
super ugly. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say
Politics. Uh-huh.
I was gonna say I had a conversation. I had a conversation with one of my homies, actually on my homie's podcast.
Mm.
This episode we did, and I was talking about filters in general in real life. Like
Okay.
life in general is completely filtered. No matter what it is you're doing, you
Mm-hmm.
can literally tell the algorithm what you want to see and what you don't want to see. If you're ordering food, you got filters. So anything you don't want, they're not even going to show you, right?
Okay,
If
got you,
you're
got
if
you.
you're dating, there's filters. So anything you think you don't want, they're not even going to show you, right? And then you continue doing that. It learns who you are, and then you get to a point where it's just straight tunnel vision.
That's
So you're forced to be biased and only think one thing, like one thing, because a few times you told them this is what you like and this is what you think. So that's all they're going to show you. So God forbid you see something else that doesn't kind of fall in line with that. And it's like,
mhm.
well, nah, that can't be any good. That can't be true. That can't be valid, you know?
Damn.
And it's just making for a very, very wicked situation, yo.
We live in a world of convenience, and that convenience
Hmm.
is killing niggas.
Hmm.
Honestly, that's
Hmm.
just crazy. That's a good perspective for real. We're
Yeah,
spoiled,
it's
spoiled like a
wild.
mug.
Facts. Yeah, yeah, it's different. And and we're older, so we have the benefit of knowing what it was like before, before social media and before the internet. And shit was different, right? Completely different. And you mentioned you don't have kids or whatnot. Me as a parent, that's something that over the past handful of years, I've been trying to condition myself to understand and learn too, right? Because for the first handful of years being a parent, I was being a parent based off of how I came up as a kid and how my parents handled me. And then it took me a while to figure out, like, wait, bro, you ain't have the internet when you was a kid. You didn't have social media when you was a kid. You didn't have access to a lot of the things that your kids have access to now. Same thing on the parent side. There's a lot of things, tools and resources that my parents didn't have access to, and
Mm,
information that my parents didn't have access to. So I can't have my mindset of being the type of parent that my parents were and thinking I'm raising the type of kid that I was when I was a kid. It's fucking night and day.
Newborn
It's
day.
night and day, So I had to flip the switch and approach it a different way and try to and try to adapt, because otherwise, shit, you're gonna get left behind, man. These kids are gonna start running circles around you.
Hmm. At least you're on point. You understand what's going on.
Yeah, finally. It took me a while. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? It it
Mm,
it, it took me a while, before I was able to really sit back and be like, no, I gotta switch it up because this ain't working. I have to adapt to make sure that they hear me and that they understand me, because even from a disciplinary standpoint, right? We both Haitian,
yeah.
so we already know how we came up.
I was about to ask. I was about to ask.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We already know how we came up, and ass whooping was the answer to everything, you know? My
Hmm.
son don't respond to that, and I found that out early. I was like, yo, this shit, he doesn't respond to that. Not only does he not respond to it, I don't want it to be a situation where now it's like, oh, if you're not responding to it, I gotta go harder. I gotta do it worse. I gotta find a way to make sure you respond. No, this isn't working, you know? It might have worked for me back in the day. Yeah, sure. Scared me straight. My dad made sure I stayed in line, you
Yeah.
know? Flap, flap, flap.
Yeah, you feel me?
You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
they made sure I stayed in line. It worked back then. That shit ain't working now. So I
Mm,
had to step back and be like, all right, well, I gotta don't put that aside. All right. So now it's conversations, you know. Let's talk. Talk to me. Even still, that's not working all the time, but
mm,
it's working better than than the fear factor. And that was one thing I always tried to tell myself, was like, yo, I don't want it to be a situation where, my kids fear me. I want them to respect me without a doubt, but I don't want them to fear me.
mm.
So you got to be able to find a way to try to make it work. But at the end of the day, it involves being present, because again, if you're simply just tossing the tablet to them, tossing the phone to them, and
Mm.
that ends up being the babysitter. Now these influencers are raising your kids. Then what?
They're your
You know?
parents. Those are parents for real.
Then what? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, man. We're gonna say on that topic, rest in peace to Takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
Peace to all those who you know what I'm saying, all these lives that have been taken before their time.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it was God's plan. I just say we need to do better, to be honest with you. That's
Yeah.
as a whole people. Um and I'm just tired of the deferring to outside causes. It has an influence when it comes to why some of us think the way we think when it comes to whether it be television, music, the control of all that. Um, but we have a part to play when it comes to trying to do better by ourselves, by our community, by our brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, cousins, whatever that case may be.
Yeah.
Um, but on that perfect segue of media, music, your boy Kanye West, man.
Hey,
Oh man,
yo. Woo.
Kanye.
Yo,
Woo!
this is actually the first time I'm speaking on it, yo, and everybody knows
Word.
I'm a big fan. Everybody knows I'm a fan of Ye, and people have been asking me what do I think, what I think. I'm like, I don't know. So you about to be the first one to get my thoughts on this whole shit.
Hey man. All right, so let's let the people know who, if unless you've been under a rock, you should know by now. But so Kanye has been on a spree right now.
Yeah.
He's been on a spree. There's been a multitude of things that he went through. Shoot, we're in November now. We just got into November. It was last month. He just went crazy. I'm sorry, let me not say he went crazy because
Yeah.
I don't want to turn people off.
Yeah.
He,
He went
he,
off.
he, he really went. He really spoke his mind last month. Let's
Mhm.
let's put it like that. I don't even remember how he started last month because that's how many things he did last month.
Yeah, it was nonstop. It was like pa, 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 pa,
What?
pa, pa.
What? That boy was letting that thing. Huh?
Yeah.
One of the first things that I could remember from last month was Kanye came out talking about came out with I guess there was a fashion show or something, and he had
Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
think it was Fashion Week in Paris.
Fashion Week in Paris. Boom,
Hmm.
and he had Candace Owens by his side, and they were both wearing All Lives Matter shirts.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, Kanye, I see you back on your shit.
I think it was even White Lives. It wasn't
White
even
Lives
All
Matter?
Lives. I
Was
think
it
it's
was it
White
White
Lives,
Lives?
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
If that was the case, I said, okay, Kanye, you on your shit. Good, you know what I'm saying? Deuces, man. It was good. It was good knowing you. I'm not saying that I'm totally dismissing the man, like, because
Hmm.
everybody's good for a comeback. Everybody can make mistakes and hopefully they figure it out. But in this particular case, I was like, I can't ride with you on this one, bro. Because at this
Yeah.
point, you're trying to disrespect black folks. And this is what you are. You are a black man. You came from a black woman. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to rile out masses, I'm not riding with you on this one. So
Hmm.
on this being said, I was saying this is Kanye being Kanye, and I said I'm good. And then what else happened after that?
The George Floyd joint.
George Floyd.
He was saying that what he say that
What you
he
say?
didn't die from the neck. He didn't die from the knee on the neck. Or he had drugs
Fentanyl.
in his system, fentanyl or whatever. Yeah.
Once again, Kanye being, I had to say, this is me saying Kanye being Kanye again. I'm like, all right,
Hmm.
do your thing, Kanye. I'm not riding with you on this either.
Hmm.
Deuces. And mind you, while he's saying all that, all the white folks that's on that, that the extreme like right
Yeah.
side of white folks, they was really on Kanye's dick.
Oh, yeah. You know.
I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, this.
They'll co-sign that quick.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what you want. They're trying to make you the real savior nigga type that,
Hmm.
yeah, this is finally I found me a nigga I like. That's
For the week, right? For
yeah,
the week,
yeah.
because
Thank you.
because the following week he'll say some next shit and they'll be like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
easy, nigga.
Yeah, it's still a nigga. Just like Jay-Z said, still a nigga. So, like I said, I wasn't, I was like I said, I'm like, man, you not representing black people at this point, man. So
Hmm.
let Kanye do Kanye. And then after that, what did he do after that? Then he did the the all right, so the anti-Semitic
Yeah,
remarks.
yeah.
Do you remember exactly what he said? I have an idea, but go ahead and hit me on that one.
Not fully. I mean, I know it
Okay.
was around, a roundabout way of as far as saying like, Jews have all the money and run all
Mhm,
everything and make all the decisions, something like that. I honestly
mhm.
don't know exactly what he said,
It was in
and
that.
I'll get to why, but go ahead.
No, it was in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So let's preface by saying, before you niggas want to cancel me, man, everything that Kanye said wasn't all false.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we know, sure, not all Jewish people are rich, not all Jewish people run things, but in particular cases, when it comes to the media, a lot of people running the media happen to be Jewish,
Hmm.
right? And there are some, especially people like Leor Cohen, and I believe he ran Def Jam and a
Yeah.
couple labels. And they asked him about, about Black lives as far as like the traumas that they promote in music, and he was like,
What's this opioid thing, man?
But being a
So
with
crackhead
that said,
wasn't
would
cool
you?
back then. Being a
what?
crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
It's
to
the
be on
most
these
Having
dangerous.
pills.
It's the
perks
most
and mollies
dangerous
and
thing that's facing um, um, our society.
Are you?
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying the
It's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got people to feed.
Oh,
I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
so basically he knows he's profiteering
Mhm.
on Black trauma, on Black genocide, and Black drug usage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he knows what the deal is, and this is kind of what Kanye was bringing back to light, because this has been talked about before, but Kanye has to be maybe the highest, the loudest voice to bring it back into the mainstream. And with that being said, before you niggas want to cancel me, Kanye is not all the way wrong. Now, whether he's saying it the right way and things of that sort, in that particular case, he's not wrong. He's kind of on point. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Whether it's Kanye or anybody else, random influencer, celebrity, whoever it is, you know, people gonna say shit, and you either gonna agree or you're gonna disagree, right? You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned as far as him saying some of the things that may not necessarily be wrong, but it's about how he says it, you know? And I think that's always the biggest thing when it comes to Kanye. That's the biggest issues where people are not ever happy with his delivery, how he says stuff, when he says stuff. So there could be some truth to some of the things he says, but it's always going to get lost in translation because it's him saying it, you know? Now, I mentioned before that I really don't know exactly what he said, when it comes down to it. Why is that? It's because I don't care, like it goes back to the conversation we were having where we're saying far too many people are living their lives and basing their reality based off of social media and influences and celebrities. Why do we care so much? Why do you care so much? I'm saying you specifically, but in general, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like, why do people care so much? And then not only that, it's like, okay, so if you care that much, where's the consistency, right? Because is Kanye the only person saying and doing crazy things that's embarrassing our community? Absolutely not. So the same person that might be enraged and going crazy about the things that Kanye say might sit down and watch some bullshit on Love and Hip Hop or Real Housewives where our community is being made to look fucking ridiculous too, right? So where's the consistency? How does that not outrage you? You know, Kanye says something crazy every couple of months. You're watching this trash for 8, 9, 10 seasons. So I look at it as it being very hypocritical a lot of times, where people pick and choose the things that embarrass our community,
Come on.
right? This is the biggest embarrassment for our community, so I'm not here to cape up for Kanye at all. I'm a Kanye fan, big fan of the music. I don't even like his clothing like that. You will never catch me wearing any of his clothing.
You ain't
Hell
got no
no.
Yeezy. You ain't got no
I
Yeezys.
never in my life bought a pair of Yeezys. I don't think his clothes, that stuff is trash to me, right? Love the
Mhm.
music, even some of the newer music. I'm a biased fan where I can admit where, damn, a lot of the latest stuff isn't that great, really. You know, Still a fan overall of the
Mhm.
music, right?
Yeah.
But I'm able to be a fan of this man's music and also hear him say some bullshit and be like, "That's not for me, bro. Nah, I'm good. You on your own on that one," and keep it pushing. You know, because guess what? Me as Rick, those things that he's saying are not going to dictate what my life looks like for the rest of this 24-hour period, for the rest of this week, for the rest of this month. And people going to be like, oh, well, you know, oh, you got your head in the sand. And of course it matters when he's saying stuff about George Floyd and this, that. Yeah, I get it. You're right. It does. But at the same time, what are you doing other than yelling and screaming and ranting and pointing fingers and hashtagging and swiping and scrolling?
On the internet.
You know what I'm saying? So that that's what my question always comes down to is why do you care so much? Why does it bother you so much? And it comes back to the conversation we was having before. You know, these influencers are here to influence. Stop being influenced. You
No
know,
bullshit.
people just got to stop being influenced because it's not just Kanye. We talked about Kyrie too. Same thing with Kyrie. He's going through it now as well on the anti-Semitism situation. He posted it was some movie. Again, I don't even really know exactly what it
Right,
is
right.
because for me, I was like, fuck it, I don't care. That's not for me, so I'm not feeding into it. You know, too many people feed into this stuff and get stuck on this stuff, right? So now you're locked in on Kanye's crazy, Kanye's crazy, Kanye's crazy. How dare he say this? White Lives Matter t-shirt. George Floyd didn't die because of the knee on his neck. All of this, all of this, all of this. That's what you're focused on. Well, okay. In that time, who's raising your kid, man?
Mm,
Who's raising your kid?
yeah,
Kid got the cell phone in their hand,
yeah.
you know?
No,
Kid got
yeah.
the tablet in their hand. Because guess what? Now the issue is not what is being said by these celebrities and what these influence. The issue is who is receiving the information. Everybody has the right to swipe. Everybody has the right to turn off. Everybody has the right to block. Nobody's doing that.
But
They'd rather keep ingesting all of this just so they could rant and rave and point a finger. What's the purpose of that?
but
That's
that's
what I want to know.
but that's the thing though. That's the thing about unfortunately about Black social media. You know what I'm saying? We just want to talk about the hot topic. And I'm gonna give you the flip side to that too. So you got the people who are kind of like me, who are not feeling Kanye. Like, but me, I didn't feel like I wanted to give him a platform because I saw more stuff and I'm like, I was about to post it. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like how you said. Why be triggered by that, or why even further the conversation on that particular stance on that point? There's the flip side. You had so basically a lot of us Black folks are saying that he was saying all this to get out of his contract with Adidas.
Adidas, Gap, Balenciaga, yeah.
So me being the person that likes to sit back and just think about it, in my head, I'm like, make it make sense. Why would you burn your bridges in this fashion? Because if you're really trying to, okay, break your contract so that way you could sell Yeezys for your own self. You want to sell the intellectual property of Yeezys for yourself, the shoes, clothes, or whatever. You're going to find your own distribution. You're going to find your own factories or whatever the case may be. Why would you burn your bridges with the people that consume the most money with you?
Right.
So yes, Black folks do spend money with you. Of course we do. What you have to understand is the people who really spend money with you, the forward-thinking white folk, the people with money, the people who have discretionary income, they have money to throw away. And the majority of people that have money to throw away that will spend money with your brand is not us.
Yeah, it's the generationally wealthy folks.
You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're forward thinking in the sense of, oh no, he's talking about who? You know what? I can't spend any money with him. That's not right. So why would you fuck up your consumer base in that sense if you're trying to just break a contract? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
Why would you burn those bridges if you're trying to make the bag? That's where I'm like, okay, now you're talking that shit. And then that's where you have the flip side, which I was saying earlier, of of the black folks that's like, he's just saying the stuff that y'all was scared to say, things of that sort. I'm like, okay, y'all niggas woke as fuck. Y'all see something I don't see. Y'all too smart. Yeah, but y'all got that. I'm not even gonna argue with y'all. Y'all gonna just keep talking in circles and shit. Everybody who ain't got the wherewithal to make these transactions are talking that shit, talking about Kanye was just saying what all of us thinking. Some of the stuff he said was right. But when it comes to saying DEFCON 3, I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on these Jews, like you're fucking up, my guy.
He's wild.
This ain't it. This ain't
that
it.
industry, no less. Yeah.
That ain't it.
You know what? Here's the other thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Kanye didn't wake up and become Kanye just last week.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like
Not at all.
Kanye been Kanye for a while now.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
So it's like at this point, you know what to expect from him. Technically, you don't really know what to expect from him, but at the same time, you know that you can't know what to expect from him at the very least. He's a wild card, So I think, and that's something for me that I'm able to, just brush it off because I know what kind of dude he is. I know the type of antics that pop up every so often. So for me, there's no shock and awe and this or that, I just, fuck it, whatever. It's not if it's a new CD, all right, boom, let me hear it because I'm here to ingest the music, But outside of that, I'm not with it, right? I do the same thing with, a lot of these other celebrities, influencers, and whatnot. We talking about Kanye, right? Let's talk about the Kardashians. I think all them fucking bitches is trash, in my opinion. That whole family's trash. So what do? I block them the fuck out. You could ask me anything about any one of them right now, and I'd be oblivious. I wouldn't know any news, anything that happens with them, which nigga they fucking today compared to which nigga they was fucking yesterday. I don't know, just because I don't care, So imagine me not imagine me I don't want to say hating, but not caring for them the way that I do, and still be like, what they got going on today? Oh my God, I can't believe that's what they're doing. Oh, let me share that so I can give my thoughts about how much I hate what they're doing. Well, no. Now I'm spreading their platform, right?
Basically.
So something that I hate and can't stand, I'm going to share so I can tell people that I hate and can't stand it. So now everybody who follows me, I just put this thing that I hate and can't stand on this platform for everybody else to see. What is the point of that, right? You can't stand this man so much. You hate what he stands for so much. You hate the things he says so much. Why are you retweeting just to remind people how much you hate it and can't stand it? If y'all all turn it off, it goes away.
No bullshit.
Nobody's turning it off though.
But chill out now. You're too smart. You gotta chill. You're doing too much. You're too smart for the people, man. You gotta relax.
Oh man.
I'm with you 100%. Like that's what I don't.
And that's the other thing too, because people want to say, quick to say, oh, you've got this platform. You can't say this with the platform, without realizing that we give them the platform. Whichever celebrity, whichever influencer it is, we're the ones that provide that platform. At any given time, we can decide to take that platform away.
For sure.
Nobody's doing that.
For sure.
Nobody's doing that.
For sure. That's why I'm a bit more conscious about the stuff that I do share. I feel the same exact way, and that's why I don't give them the free advertisement.
Yep.
No.
Facts.
Whether it comes to Kanye or police brutality, I feel like that people already know what's going on without me having to share the shit.
Exactly.
Basically, that's where I'm at with it. And it's not hating what you're saying. It's just motherfucker. You just don't fucking like the shit, the Kardashian shit. And I agree.
Yeah, if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I'm not even going to bother. Why am I going to waste my time proclaiming for the 100th, 1,000,000th time that I don't fuck with you? I'll tell you one time I don't fuck with you and then just not fuck with you.
Damn, that's it.
That's it. That's how it works, dummies.
Haitian as fuck today, right now. We Haitian as fuck. My
Yo,
fuck out of there, I don't care.
Bagzalo fue
Get out of there.
demasqueo,
Wow, what? You know what I mean? That's it.
saloperie.
Straight up. Booze. That's it. We don't care. We straight up on that cutoff shit for real.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. So yeah, Kanye, Kanye was going off this week. But it is what it is. But what you said earlier, as far as like Kanye was always like that, I agree. I feel like those handcuffs were just like they dissolved when his mom passed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like his mom was the one person that could look at Kanye and be like, I don't think that's right, Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was
you
one
see?
person. Mm-hmm.
Did you see the
The
documentary?
documentary. I did.
Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
I did. It was pretty. It was cool. It was interesting to see his rise, to see where he was. He was always talented, but he wasn't always getting the looks that he thought he deserved.
Yeah.
Saying kept on getting passed along until he finally, got that green light and then started slowly becoming the person he thought he could become. Like that's the one thing I could say about him. He was persistent and confident in what he was capable of. So I loved seeing that. But once again, it was just a matter of like when his mom passed, there was no one that could check him. Everybody,
That's a big part of it.
Everybody was pussy.
Yeah.
You have nothing but yes men around you. You know what I'm saying?
Just about to say that. That's the problem right there.
That's the thing. It's like, look how much influence he has. It's like, I don't want to piss him off. I'm just going to be like, yes. All right, I'm going to run for president. Okay, yes. All right. So we're going to find some people that could, some pollsters. We're going to find people that could put you on, that could do the campaigning and shit like that. Like everybody's saying yes to him. No one's saying no. And he has so much going on, so many ideas that he cannot focus on one thing. And he's spreading his talents thin and fucking up all along the way because no one is checking him.
The most insightful part of that documentary, and again, this isn't me trying to make excuses for Kanye or this and that, because again, I accept him for what he is. I know the type of asshole he is, and I'm able to again black out the shit that I don't care about because I'm like, I just don't want to hear it and I'm not going to spread that,
The asshole is what made him the man he is today. He wouldn't get where he was if he wasn't the asshole he was. So there's that though.
That facts, right? So sticking with that point, watching the documentary, seeing, kind of who he was within that time frame when he was grinding and trying to get to a certain level, there's a certain sense of, like triumph when you're able to finally get somewhere where you knew you meant to be and people kept trying to not let you get there. And then you've got the fact that the one person who was in your ear always telling you, hey, you're gonna make it, you're gonna make it, you're gonna make it, was there when you made it for a little bit, and then you lose them, right? Here's something that, now again, I'm no psychologist and I got no degree in this nonsense. The way I look at him, I feel like it could be a situation where he feels at fault for his mom no longer being there. It's his fame that has caused his mom to no longer be here because she died under the knife, um, doing some type of plastic surgery, if I'm not mistaken. So in my mind, I look at it as someone whose number one person in their life died because the fame and the fortune that he had enabled her to go through whatever process that she was going through, and that took her life. And maybe within him, it's a situation where it's like, this fame is the reason, this fame killed my mom. So if I don't take this fame to the 1,000th level and to the 1,000th%,
Mm-hmm.
I killed my mom for nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like, damn, this is the reason she's no longer here. It's because I'm rich and famous and was able to have her go to do this plastic surgery or whatever, and it happened. So it's like, and I don't know if this is true, and I don't know if that's the case, but I could imagine mentally it could be a
Mm-hmm.
situation where it's like, damn, well, if I wasn't famous, she would have never been getting that operation, and she would still be here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's because I'm famous that unfortunately she's not here, I owe it to her to be the biggest the biggest thing ever, just because then why not, right? Because if that's the case, then I wasted the fame and got my mom killed, you know? That could be far out. It could be some random nonsense, but watching it, that's the kind of feeling I got from watching the documentary, is that, I'm willing to bet that at a certain level, there is a sense of she's gone because of me. She's gone because of my fame, because of my fortune, because of where I got, it's kind of like if, I think I don't want to get the story wrong, but didn't Jay-Z get his nephew a car or something like that?
I can't
And then the
remember.
nephew died in the car accident,
Mm.
but it doesn't have to be Jay-Z, it doesn't have to be whatever. But imagine you
That's it.
yourself, you get somebody, you get a nephew or a cousin, you buy them a bike, and they're out riding that bike and they get hit by a car, God forbid, and they die, right? That guilt falls with you. Shit, if I never got them that bike, they'd still be here. You know what I mean? So it's those
Yeah.
types of things where, I could imagine from watching the documentary and seeing what the relationship was like with him and his mom. That absolutely plays a major part, because down to exactly what you said, more than anything, she was able to check him. She was able to keep him alive. And I've said before on other platforms, where having people in your life that can check you is one of the most important things in the world, because if you continue to live a life where you are unchecked, you become unhinged. And this is what happens, when you've got nothing but yes men around you,
Mm.
bad shit is gonna happen. And it's unfortunate, because a lot of times the yes men are nothing but fucking leeches.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it
Opportunists.
even worse, you know?
Yep.
So they're yes men to your detriment, because they feel it's to their benefit.
Boom.
So at the end of the day, when you go sinking, doesn't matter to them. They got as much as they could out of it, and they could just move on and disconnect. Be like, nope, I'm gonna wash my hands. This one
Um,
ain't on me.
oh, come on now. Basically, this is basically what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Everybody that was involved with them, whatever, saying yes, yes, this, yes, that, because they was getting to their benefit, and then as soon as he started popping off, it's like, okay, you know what? I think I've gotten as far as I could with this
Yeah.
situation, and I'm gonna just go ahead and wash my hands right here and back the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that 100%. Um, and it's crazy too. Um, as far as like on the anti-Semitic stuff, like as long as Kanye has been popping off at the mouth when it comes to social issues, it's most of course like black issues. It's whatever. It's just us fighting Kanye. But
Hmm.
but as soon as the the situation when it comes to the Jewish faith, that's when it goes down and under. And then of course we understand why, because this is what he was saying earlier.
Yep.
The ones who have the power are the ones who are cutting ties with Kanye. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of him ironically making his point.
Yeah. Sad but true. Yeah. That
Just
that's
saying.
that's the ironic part. That's the ironic part, is like the shit he said is being proven by
Just,
the reaction, which is
just saying.
crazy.
Yeah, because he been talking all this shit about black folks, you know what I'm saying? As much as he's for black folks, he's talking shit about black folks, and that happened. You know what I'm saying? We said our little 10 cents and nothing happened, but he said this
Yeah.
and that. Oh, we're gonna cut this contract. Don't worry about it. And then I was watching. I don't know if were you watching the game last night, the basketball Brooklyn game.
And now I caught the highlights.
You caught the
I
highlights.
caught
All
the
right.
highlights. Yeah.
So during the game,
So we're like with people at the courtside seats,
of
right?
course, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
Brooklyn versus whatever. Brooklyn was playing, and you already know Kyrie's on the team. Brooklyn.
Hmm.
They ended up talking about the coaching situation. The coach was getting fired, and there's a possibility that the Boston coach can go over there. That's a whole nother conversation.
Jeez, boy, is that?
Yeah, but they started talking about Kyrie. I guess Kyrie retweeted a movie
Hmm.
and that's deemed as anti-Semitic. Um, I have no information on what this movie's about or
Yeah.
whatever. So I can't even talk about that. My thing was I found it interesting how they spent a good 5 minutes talking about that and saying how he should be suspended. And then they got one of the courtside reporters who happened to be Jewish to kind of get his 2 cents on it.
Hmm.
And what else were they doing? They were talking about how the league is so fast to respond to how the owners might mess up or whatever the case may be. But when Kyrie messes up, the NBA players have nothing to say. So they were kind of putting the hand down on the players about the situation for not, they're not standing up for him. They're not like shutting them down either.
Yeah.
So they were just
Yeah.
like falling back on this
Not
particular
saying anything.
situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting that Reggie Miller and the other announcer as well as courtside reporter had their 10 cents to say about that, which was I thought that was very interesting, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, again, the whole situation, and like you mentioned before, I don't even really know exactly what it is he tweeted. So, like you said, it was some type of movie on Amazon or something like that. I don't know, movie, book, who knows? I don't know all the details again because for me, it's like, yeah, not for me. I don't care, So I didn't share it, I didn't retweet it, I didn't, put my
Right.
thoughts out there just because I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but you mentioned something very interesting because the whole situation with the owners, like we've seen where owners have been embattled with racial situations, derogatory situations, gender situations and whatnot. So the whole Kyrie thing kind of bubbles up because the outrage obviously comes down to, well, how come he's able to put this stuff out there and da 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 da. Now, again, I'm speaking as somebody who knows very minimal about what it is that he shared. I know that he shared this thing. I don't even know exactly in what context, because I know I might have seen the tweet one time on ESPN or whatnot, and that's about it. But
And just to pause you real quick too,
yeah.
you don't know the context either. So I think the media controllers of the Brooklyn Nets talked to Kyrie and said, "Hey, we're gonna try to see if this could fizzle down. So you're not allowed to say anything.
Hmm.
We're just gonna shut you down right quick when it comes to like talking to the media. Don't
Yeah.
tweet shit. Don't say shit." So when you said the context, 100% on that as well. He
Yeah.
wasn't able to speak context. Whether it would have been to his detriment or to maybe saving face, they didn't even give him the opportunity when it comes to his employers at the Brooklyn Nets. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to put that in there as well.
Yeah, so that's a big part of it for me, right? Context is always key,
Mhm.
The the Kanye situation, that man said what he said.
That's Kanye. He said that.
Like you know exactly what he said. He said it, he put it out there. From what I know from the Kyrie situation, all I know is that he tweeted this thing out. As far as I know, he didn't necessarily say anything anti-Semitic. And from recent reports that I heard, it may even seem like it might have been a boneheaded situation where he himself may not had even known exactly what that movie or whatever was in its entirety. You know what I mean? So now there's a sense of responsibility that comes obviously when you do have this platform and when you're retweeting stuff or resharing stuff, it's important to know kind of what it is you're sharing or retweeting. Let's take
Mhm.
Matt Barnes, for example, right? We talked about, well, not, we didn't talk about, but we mentioned
Yeah.
briefly the whole situation with Boston and Ime. And remember, initially, Matt Barnes came out in defense of him. The following day, Matt Barnes pulled down the video that he posted in defense of him. Why? And said, hey, I posted this video defending him last night. I got some new information since then, and I'm backing off of that defense based off of the new information I got, you know?
Mhm.
So I feel like this might be a situation similar with Kyrie. Obviously, eventually we're going to hear, and I would think we're going to hear and find out from him specifically,
Mhm.
you know? But it could be a situation where this man really didn't know what it was that he was putting out there, you know? Who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But based off of the information I got, it doesn't seem like he knows exactly what he's putting out there. And more importantly, it wasn't him specifically coming out and saying or doing anything anti-Semitic, right? I don't think it's fair to equate it to the owners necessarily, because with the owners, you go back to the owner with the Clippers and whatnot. This man was on tape talking recklessly about black folks being racist
Mhm.
and whatnot, talking about, I don't want these people sitting there. I think he was talking about Magic or whatever. You
Yeah.
got the owner of the Suns where, the investigation is done and it's years long of, racial abuse, gender abuse, misogyny, all of that. Things that are actual actions that people did. These owners didn't just randomly tweet out a movie that happens to be racist or sexist. They were actually engaging in acts of racism and sexism and misogyny. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's fair to equate the Kyrie situation to the situation with the owners. But what you mentioned is very important. We have to be able to at least get to a point where if he does actually speak up for himself and say exactly why it was that he posted that and what happened behind it, we can get a better sense and we can hopefully make a better decision as far as how to move forward. Or if you don't like it, you can just turn it off and keep it moving. And again, pull that platform away so that it's not continuing to be a detriment. People love to watch a car crash. No, no matter what, people love to watch a car crash. Everybody and their mama is going to sit in traffic and be pissed off about why it is that we're stuck in traffic. Why are we stuck in traffic? Why are we stuck in traffic? You're going to complain till you're blue in the face. Move, drive. Why are we stuck in traffic? But when
Yeah.
you get up to that crash and the road is nice and clear, your bitch ass is going to slow down and look too.
Mhm.
Okay?
Ain't that something?
So what are we complaining about?
Come
You
on.
are part of the problem. You're part of the problem, so I don't want to hear it.
And what the crazy part is, people is not going to turn off, and the people who are I guess affected by this the most are the ones who would rather just cancel
Mm,
cancel. Like, it's our
hmm
way or the highway. We think he should be canceled. He should be suspended, blase blase. And like you said, I would like to know context. um
Context is key.
Context is super
Context is
key,
very key.
even when it comes to situations that involve us. What happened? I want to know what's the information first. What
Hmm
happened first before we just go ahead and do that? Because I would like the same. I would like the same respects if it was on my end. If I was to do something maybe that I did by accident or whatever the case
Yeah,
may be.
yeah. Let the
Let's do an
facts come out.
investigation. Let's get the facts. Let's
Yeah,
do a thorough investigation, and from there we figure out how to move.
yeah. That was the same thing with the email situation. Right out the gate, so many people, even within my circle, was jumping out to defend this man. Oh, it was a consensual relationship. I don't know why this isn't that. And I'm like, yo, y'all got to back up a little bit. Let's not focus on consent, right? Because again, this is an HR situation. This is a work environment situation.
Mhm.
So regardless of consent being involved, there's a lot of other tricky situations that you got to deal with when you're dealing with a subordinate, in a work environment. So we can't just latch on to consent and be like, oh, well, if it was consensual, it's all good. Anything that happened is okay. That's not necessarily the case. And as more and more things started to come out, we saw that wasn't the case. And so many people who jumped out the windows were ready to go hard and defend this man was
Yeah.
looking really fucking stupid when the information was coming out, and you're like, ooh, that dude is a fucking dirtbag, yo. I'm not gonna touch this one.
Damn, I still don't know what happened with. I'm about to figure it
Like you
out.
said, man, that's a whole nother
Hold on.
conversation. Especially now that it looked like he about to end up being the Nets coach. Man, the Nets PR team is gonna be working overtime, bro.
Are they? But everybody gonna chill out when they win their games because I really don't like that move for real. You don't like that move. So you gonna hire a really good coach. I'm not talking about a person if he's a good person or not. I don't know.
Man.
But I'm saying, but you gonna hire a really good coach that knows the X's and the O's of the opposite team, the enemy team. Come on now. And you got Kevin Durant, you got Kyrie Irving. You gonna figure something out. And I don't like that.
Yeah. We're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be a shitstorm for the Nets the entire rest of the season, man. It's gonna be wild to see.
It's only gonna be a shitstorm if the Nets are still losing. I can guarantee that. If they're winning,
I think it's gonna be either way. I think even if they're winning, I still feel like it's only the fans that are gonna be, like riding with them. And I feel like from the sense that I get, fans are riding with them already, So I don't think the fans for the most part haven't turned on Kyrie. The fans for the most part are saying, hey, Ime can coach. Bring Ime in the coach because we know he can coach, So win or lose, I think the fans are gonna ride with him. The people who have an issue with it, win or lose, they're gonna have an issue with it. So I think it's gonna be a PR nightmare for them the whole rest of the way. And the more they win, I think it gets louder because God forbid this is a team that you end up having going to the finals on this platform, on this stage. Those people that are pissed off right now, imagine how much more pissed off they're going to be if they have to watch this team that they've decided that they hate so much be a champion.
But Rick, we've been here before.
Facts. We always here.
So we seen this with Kobe. We seen this with Kobe for a little bit. Everybody shut up after he won the championship. We ain't hear nothing about that. Ben Roethlisberger, another situation. Heard that before. You ain't hear nothing about that. He won another Super Bowl after that. You know what I'm saying? So we've been here before. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Shoot, Cleveland with my boy Deshaun. Let me fall back before I say my boy.
Oh, hey, listen,
That's it. I'm not gonna say my boy, but I'm just saying something kind of funky. Things kind of funky on that situation, but you know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother conversation. Boy.
Yes, it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's that. So if they're winning games and they have nothing to contribute when it comes to like buying tickets or whatever, I think the Brooklyn Nets, they care less. As long as they're coming up on the positive, let them talk their talk. That's why we're paying top notch for these PR people. So that way they calm down the situation. We're gonna pay off these reporters and make sure they say nothing but good things on the newspaper. And we give it to you. Let's win games. Yeah. Come on, man. It's politics, baby.
Facts. It sure is too.
Heck yeah. But shoot, man. I don't know, man. I think it might be time to wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always good to have you on here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Always appreciate the invite, man.
You already know, man. We're always talking that good stuff on here. You already know. Let them know what your Instagram, your socials, you know what I'm saying, so they can find you.
Yeah. Hey, like I know I talked a lot of shit about not following people, but follow me at least, I ain't trying to be no influencer or nothing, man. I'm just trying to talk a little shit and have some good conversations. But yeah, man, hit me on all forms of social media. I am Mr. Eccentric. It's at Mr. Eccentric. MrEscentric. Mr. Eccentric. You can email me too, mreccentric@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns. I take show ideas, requests to be on the show. I like to have a nice open platform and just have some dope conversations, man. So as always, man, anything come up, give me a shout and we can chat, yo.
You already know what it is. See, appreciate you for coming through once more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Check out his podcast. He got some real dope content on there. He has another episode coming out really soon.
Yeah, real soon. It's a dope episode too. My partner, one of my homies, One of my best friends since I was young, he's got his own podcast. It's called the Inquisitive Nobody. So
Okay.
we did a part one conversation on his podcast about, kind of the contrast between being a nice guy and being an asshole, and
Oh,
how far you can get in life, specifically within relationships and whatnot. So the part one of the episode, he just dropped recently on his podcast, and then part two is what I'm gonna be dropping on my podcast sometime in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that, man. It's a dope conversation.
I like how y'all did that. That's kind of like that's kind of like doing something on Chicago PD and dropping it on Chicago FD.
Yep,
Chicago Fire.
a little cross platform joint. That was the plan. That was the plan.
Dope. I like that. That's dope. I see how y'all moving, man. I'm moving a little different. I like that.
Yeah, trying, man, trying to bring a little something different to the game,
Mm-hmm. Nah, but I like that. I'm definitely gonna check that out right there. That nice guy topic, asshole. It's a bit.
Yeah. That's a good
real.
one.
No, it's real right now. I got some stories for you, bro. That's some awesome stuff right there. Once again, thanks for coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, man. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
You already know. Folks, thank you for pulling up on Stirring the Pot Podcast. You already know it's your boys DDA. You can find me on Instagram. Stirring the Pot Talks, at Stirring the Pot Talks. On Facebook, facebook.com/STP Talks. And once again, thank you for pulling up. Thank you for sharing your time with us, listening. And you already know, just hit us up in the DMs or whatever. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to talk about. And as always, peace in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.